It's gorilla time.
What's crazy is I was just going into this earlier before we came up here on Instagram. Like, of course, you guys mentioned earlier about the stigma that black men have in this country is that they abandon their children. It was the opposite with me. My mom abandoned me. My dad raised me. You see what I'm saying? So there's also another stigma too about so-called mixed kids or mamzers. That there's some form of an identity crisis that they go through.
And it's cold. And I just want to not to steal
That's a
your
good
point,
one, though. That's a good
but
one.
it's like that stigma is so crazy because I go, like, you know, we're from the Northwest, right? We're from an area where there's a large propensity of brothers with black fathers and white mothers. A large propensity. And it's like, when people say that, it's like, I know a lot of mixed people, so-called with black fathers and non-black mothers, white mothers, Asian, Samoan, etc.
Yeah.
Especially for the guys with white mothers, like myself or like Assad, the 95% of the people I know with a white mom and a black father, there's zero identity crisis at all. There is no, I don't know if I'm black or I'm white.
Right.
They're, like, I've never seen that. You know what I'm saying? So then when you meet people, and it's funny because it's funny the hypocrisy and the you know, selective struggle that people have, because people will try to tell you that about yourself.
Exactly.
People try to tell you, you'll have a person who's not mixed will try to tell mixed people that they have an identity crisis when there's not one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And the majority of people, like, I know plenty. It's like, bro, how many mixed people do you even fucking know, nigga? Don't tell me about the one person you know. Like, I know, first of all, I am one.
Right.
And two, I know a gang of people with black fathers and white brothers. A gang.
Exactly.
Right.
The majority of people that I know of that disposition there's not an identity crisis, bro.
Right.
Like, even relatively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, like I said, there could be a few outliers. I know a few outliers who say weird shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, and I've heard of Rashida Jones, which is Quincy Jones' daughter. I've heard her talk about it. Like, she had an identity crisis. She knows she wanted to be Jewish or black. She kind of went through phases where she was Jewish or she was black, right? But the average
imagine going through a white face.
You know, like, I'm gonna be white. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like that. It never existed. So when people come with that shit, it's like, bro, like, what are you? First of all, how can you speak for me?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Number one, or how can you speak for the majority of mixed people? You know what I'm saying? And then also to blanket of people as mixed also is just, it's so retarded because so somebody who's black and Filipino have the same disposition as somebody who's black and white. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like so in the case when I say like black and Samoan, that's the only place I've seen a real identity crisis.
Because they don't know which one to pick.
Because that Samoan culture is very strong.
Very heavy.
Nick, very heavy.
So they'll
the rock do that shit too.
So they'll identify with it because that culture is strong as hell. Right. So that's the only place I've seen, especially somebody really represent both.
Yeah.
But bro, for the most part, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Black and white, bro, nobody's trying to be, I mean, maybe, again, a minority with the average, like, bro, is not trying to be white or wish they were white. You know what I'm saying?
But hold on, check this one out. Here's one. Here's the irony and all that, right? So you hit it. So The Rock, that's kind of like, that. You know, that's a weird one, right? Because you just don't know, like you said, they're both strong cultures. But in most cases, especially when you have a black father and a white woman, the kids, at least from my own eyes, always want to identify with being black.
Absolutely.
Always, right?
Always, mostly.
So, but yet, when you have a Filipino father and a black woman, or even a black father and a Filipino woman, it's like they denounce the blackness and they want to go with the Filipino.
But that culture is strong.
The culture is strong.
So, and I've seen that too, and kind of more closer, like I said, like Samoan culture. I've seen almost everybody that's part Samoan just go Samoan.
Yeah, for sure.
Just go Samoan.
Absolutely.
For sure.
That culture is strong.
Raider.
Filipino, you see what I'm saying? And we know a lot of people growing up where we grew up, seeing people that's black and Samoan, Puerto Rican Samoan, Mexican Samoan, white and Samoan. Yeah. They're all like, you find out later, like they're half something else or they're part something else.
Not,
You know what I'm saying? I dated a girl who was in high school, Samoan and Chinese and white, but she wouldn't mention the Chinese and white part. She would only talk about being Samoan. You know what I'm saying? So So that happens, but the Filipino culture, it's similar to the Samoan culture in how strong it is and how very like it's really rooted in family so much that they probably are experience their family like the Samoan culture.
Yeah.
They experience their family so much they identify with it.
Absolutely.
And it goes back to all about culture. Like how rooted is your culture?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, I'm pretty sure you and your father were tight, right?
Yeah, and like I was gonna say earlier too, like that identity crisis I never once in my life had, and it's because, well, one, just because, you know, even like the scriptures say, you are who your father is, so there's a natural inclination there. But not only that, but because the person who the supposed identity crisis, the conduit for it wasn't in my life. All I had was my father. You see what I'm saying? And not only was all I had my father, but my father always instructed, like taught me. He didn't have to really tell me like you're black, but he would in ways that without actually expressing it to me. Like for example, on my wall, I'll never forget, bro. He had like this not a mural, but it's like a picture of like 50 famous black men and women that everybody should know. And it was like George Washington Carver, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, etc. Right? So not only I had them to look up to, as a little boy, you know what I'm saying? And then right next to it, he had his picture of him in his baseball uniform. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm looking at these great black men, and then I'm seeing my father right next to him. So I'm joining my father as a great black man, and I'm looking at my father as me. That's what I look up to. I'm gonna be like my dad when I grow up. You see what I'm saying?
That's so cold, bro. Like that like, you know, just think about what psychology that plays on a child at a young age who's not even thinking about what the father's thinking about. But fast forward to not so much to what we agreed on now, where we're seeing fathers who are in their sons or daughters' lives, but let's kind of take it back towards the 90s a little bit, where it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and we obviously understand the curses, but we're harping on the fact of how important it is being a father and understanding the development of a child. You know what I'm saying? And getting over, you know, your insecurities as a man and understanding that you have a person to raise. You know what I mean? And the influence of changing culture is predicated off you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's cold what your dad did, bro. Like, I that's just me being a father. Like, that's something that I need to do.
Bro, it was,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
psychologically, like my dad was, and still is. I don't know how he learned it, but he is so incredible with like subliminal stuff, that a subliminal seed he'll plant in you that'll grow perfectly and bud later. Like I remember at the age where he's still having to tie my shoes, he's telling me you're special. He's telling me, you know, about God blessing you and stuff like that. He's telling me, it's like, one day you're gonna be this. And it's like, well, okay, going back to even the poster I was telling you about, these great black men and women, an inventor, Malcolm X, and then I see my dad right next to him. Imagine if Malcolm X told you you're gonna be special. That's Malcolm.
Yeah,
and so, and I'm associating my dad with it. So now it's that positive black father in the household, and this goes for all the tribes too. That you know, black or Hispanic or Native American father in the household.
Are you sure? It's just not the Levites?
No, I'm 100% sure. Because before that, there was no, you know what I'm saying? It was just black at the time. You know what I'm saying? So, that in his word, everything held, you know, was more valuable because of that. Now when he's telling me to do something, go and do this, I trust him. Yeah. Okay, just, son, I have your best interest at heart. Okay, I know you do, because if I believe that you're just like these great black men, women, you know, that's on my wall. So that psychological stuff was definitely important.
Absolutely.
My pops wasn't the most hands-on father by no sense of the imagination. You know, when I was playing sports, I could probably name a handful of times that he was there. Because, you know, a lot of times these sports is on the weekends. Yeah. And that's when my dad works on the weekends. He's on the plane, he's out of town. So it's not like he's just not there. He can't be there. You know what I'm saying? That's when he's working. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that was, you know, I felt a way about that when I was young, like, damn, you know, everybody's parents are here. You know, where the fuck is my dad? You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So, you know, hooping or playing baseball and shit, because those are only sports I played, you know, on an organized show. But yet and still, he still, you know, was still imparted a lot of good shit up in my mind.
And he was around, bro.
Yeah, he was present. You know what I'm saying? He was present.
That's right.
And that's something that me and Asai want to talk about too. Is like back on the mix thing just for a second. It's like a lot of niggas. You have a lot of these guys in Israel who they'll call us mamzers, and they'll tell us we're not black men. A lot of these same niggas were not raised by black men.
Facts.
You're gonna tell me I'm not a black man, but you weren't even raised by a black man and I was.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Who taught you to be a black man?
Who
I had
taught you to
someone
be a
teach
black
me
man?
how to be a black
A
man.
black woman taught you how to be a black man, but you're the same Israelite that will teach that that's impossible.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That a woman can't teach a man to be a man. But some of these same dudes, they got taught by a woman. And we actually got taught by black men. And we not shit though.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We didn't get taught by white women anything. Yes, these white women had us, right? But there's a point in time where they vanish out of our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They try to cut. They make their way back later, but we're established by then. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're built by then. So the white woman was not instrumental in raising either of us. You see what I'm saying? But the black man was.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when that narrative gets pushed and niggas find anything, and I oftentimes ask myself, well, if my mom wasn't white, what would these niggas say then?
Oh, they'll talk about something.
They'll find something else.
Yeah.
So it's just they're gonna find something to talk about because of the hate and the resentment and the jealousy and the envy, because they just feel like they should be in whatever position they think I'm in, and they're just not in it. But a lot of it just has to do with work ethic in general, right? Work ethic, but more than work ethic, a lot of it has to do with dispensation of the Holy Spirit and the Most High dealing with somebody. And he deals with whoever he feels like dealing with. There's mixed brothers he deals with. There's Latin brothers he deals with. There's dark-skinned brothers he deals with. There's tall brothers. There's short brothers. There's fit brothers. There's fat brothers. There's skinny brothers. He deals with all type of brothers. He's not doing it predicated upon anything. It's just Israel. He said he gonna pour his spirit on all the Israelites.
That's right.
So you see what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of the shit come from. That's why they didn't like Moses. They didn't like Moses because the Lord was dealing with Moses. So they would try to find anything to say about Moses. Well, who the fuck are you, Moses? Are you? But you see, Moses is like, bro, you don't get it. I'm just the one the Lord chose. It's not, and not saying that I'm like Moses or compare, but just using Moses as an example to where everybody hated him because the Lord was dealing with him. And the Lord could have not dealt with him. He's not from the slums. He's not from the trenches. He didn't grow up, though he has biologically an Israelite father and mother, he didn't grow up with an Israelite father or mother. He learned all the ways of the Egyptians.
That's right.
And Yahweh still chose him. You see what I'm saying? So just using that as an example to where niggas are just mad that the Most High is dealing with somebody and they wish the Most High was dealing with them like that. You see what I'm saying? But in actuality, it's not of my doing.
That's right.
It's not of Assad's doing. Anything that any way you feel about us or anything you feel like we can do, we didn't do this.
Yeah.